Here's Mike Aulby, who was a PBA Player of the Year, is a PBA Rookie of the Year, has a lot of wins, 14 titles. And has to open with that.
Mike Aulby said that he's going to concentrate on winning the match, and he must do that now because any thoughts of winning $200,000 have gone by the wayside without a strike in the first frame. But Mike said something about the lefties not winning out here, and any of you who have followed us for the years remember that the lefties dominated almost this sport percentage-wise in the 1970s, and just in the recent years, and I think a little bit, Chris, has to do with the lanes hooking a lot more. Left-handers seem to have more problem with the drier lane surfaces that we have out here on the tour in the last year or so.
Mike was, after that beautiful conversion, one of 6 that made the final cut to 24 bowlers. 17 were in the field of 160. But this right-hander with a 268 bow, Jack Jurek, impressed us.
Excellent first game performance. Second time in a championship round. His first championship round came in Edmond, Oklahoma.
Off to a proper start. His 2 West Texas State teammates, Mark McDowell and Nathan Terry Jr., were on earlier telecasts this year, so that school is getting bowling recognition.
Jurek early started bowling at the age of 9. I asked him what he averaged in his first junior league. He said 124. So he really wasn't a prospect when he was real young, but he's looking very good now.
And Bowler's Journal picked him as the 84 Amateur of the Year. And now he's opened with a double in his second game of the afternoon from Peoria.
And Chris, next week we travel out to the synthetic bowling lanes of the Showboat Atlantic City Open. The only time this year we're bowling on synthetic lanes. That was the host center for the U.S. Open last year. And on to Cleveland for another Budweiser tournament.
With a big bend, getting all but the 4-7 for Mike Aulby, a native of Indianapolis, Indiana, where he's going back to tonight.
Mike Aulby with that slightly dropped left shoulder, inside swing, starts the ball somewhere on the center of the lane, sends it out wide, almost to the channel. Still doesn't keep the ball wide enough to avoid going high. Leaves a 4-7 spare conversion.
He uses about 2/3 of the approach. Carefully sets himself. All right, marking with 2 spares. And these professional bowlers really travel before the next tournament starts, like Mike. He'll leave Indianapolis tomorrow, fly to New York, Long Island, for a charity bowling event with many of the New York Islander hockey players, because Mike is a great hockey fan at John Caprice's Sheraton Bowling Academy.
Aulby using the full grip, just the tips of his fingers in the ball. Good snap at the point of release.
Mike Aulby getting his first strike in our second game in the 3rd frame. Jack Jurek opening with a double, following a 268 to 226 win over Del Ballard. A 7.
Jurek sending the ball wide, not quite getting back and getting the good break on the 7-pin. And one of the reasons the scores have been so high here, the carry is fantastic. And I asked our PBA personnel what caused the pin carry to be so consistent. And they said it's the way the lanes were installed. They were installed and the pin decks were tied down in 2 or 3 different spots. So it's a nice firm back end, get a lot of bounce on the pins, and obviously more pin action.
Winner of this game will meet Wayne Webb and then Amleto Monicelli.
Let's take a look at the line that Jack Jurek is playing. He's going to start somewhere in the middle with his feet. He's going to slide around the 20th board, but his trajectory will be out around the second arrow, then all the way out to the channel. Let's see if he keeps the ball somewhere in that line and gets it wide enough to keep it in the light pocket area.
If he'd have followed your line, he wouldn't have had that.
He went a little bit inside of it, and that's how close pro bowling is. A board mistake here or there, and now we have a very, very difficult split to convert. Chris, he must get the ball over in this 3-6 area and drive the 3-pin over to the 4-7. An unusual split, but it is very makeable if you make that 3-pin slide over to the left side of the lane.
We haven't seen that one for years.
That's for sure.
So very close. Oh, but the 4. What a try. We'll return with more of it. And we welcome from Chicago, Barbara and Jerry Thompson, General Merchandise Manager, Cotter & Company, parent of True Value Hardware Stores. Jerry taken over after Ed Langto resigned following 41 years, retired, I should say, with Cotter & Company. What a career Ed has had. So Mike Aulby now, coming up with that double, has taken the lead.
Aulby, one of the most aggressive bowlers in all of professional bowling. He's always in top shape, and
there's Tammy, and earlier we asked her husband Mike, if he hadn't become a pro bowler, what would he have done? Well, we'll give you that answer following this shot. A big one for Mike.
Jack Jurek, I asked him what he does best in the sport of bowling right before we came on to the championship round. And he says, Bo, don't worry about strikes or anything. The one thing I do best is I don't give up. He trails by 24 pin. He has to get going.
The first victory, 268 to 226. He strung 8 in a row. Started with a double, spare, and now with a strike in the 5th frame. You'll have to put them together because you see Aulby has 3 in a row. I promise you the answer to Mike Aulby's question.
Jurek, an all-around good athlete, 9 handicap golfer, 4-year varsity baseball player in high school. Needs some strikes.
And gets that.
Trouble.
1, 2, 4, 6, 10. Another strange leave.
Well, Chris, it's the big hook ball that these players are all attempting, and here's what Jack has to do. He has to get the ball to the left of the head pin, the 1-2 zone, and drive that 1 pin into the 6 and hope it carries out the 10. So it's a very difficult shot. That extra 6 pin in there makes it much more difficult than the plain old washout 1, 2, 4, 10. Let's see how he handles it.
All-out effort. So now Aulby comfortably steps up with 3 in a row, shooting in the 6th frame, 2nd game. Winner to meet Wayne Webb. 4 in a row. Now the answer to the question to Mike, if he weren't a pro bowler, what would he be doing?
Well, I always told the counselors in high school counting so I could get them off my back so I could just bowl. But if it hadn't been bowling, it'd probably be, I enjoy photography a lot, but somewhere where I could be out meeting people and just be in contact with the public.
Right, I know about the photography. If during the 500 week at Indianapolis Speedway, you'll find Mike with that camera really having a field day.
Comes up in the 7th frame, 4 in a row, has a chance to take a 60-pin lead.
Mike Aulby, who won in Cleveland last year, trying to get another one. We'll return to Peoria following this.
Looks like Winter just did in that poor fellow's battery. Wonder if he knows.
I play with new golf balls because I lose the old ones, but this man has new equipment not to his liking.
Hamletto Monicelli came in the building today. None of his bowling equipment was there. No shoes, no bowling balls, anything. And what happened, Chris, is we have a a truck that takes almost all the players' equipment to the next stop, that being Atlantic City. Somehow, Amleto's equipment got on that truck. He had to drill up a new ball about a half hour ago, and I hope he feels comfortable with it as he goes into the championship game. But now, in the second game, Jurek trails by 60 pins and must start throwing some strikes.
Open frames have really done him in after that 268 in the first game and 8 strikes in a row.
Here's an interesting shot. Look at this. You're straight down over the foul line. You're straight down over the foul line. Now watch Jack Jurek as he slides right up to the foul line, and his knee penetrates the foul line but doesn't touch over it. A good follow through. He's sliding into the center of the lane. Excellent shot to show how a bowler releases and comes to a full stop.
A lot of speed covering the 10 pin. Meanwhile, Wayne Webb, who will meet the winner of this second game, is warming up. You'll hear the pins falling from his practice shots like there. And Monticelli trying to get accustomed to the new bowling balls.
Jurek right now has a possible 208 game. Absolutely must strike if he has any chance to win.
I think he's, in 2 games, had more Brooklyns than we've seen in a while.
Well, Jack, I know is good at concentrating and everything, but he'll go back and look at this championship round performance that he's had in the 2 games and analyze it and find out his speed control was a little off, and that's how he had a few errant shots. And he's bowling against a veteran here, Aulby, who's really going for the throat.
Mike Aulby now with 5 in a row in our second game from Peoria.
Aulby coming in from the left side into the 1-2 pocket. His ball, a very sharp break, drives to the 1-2, drives the ball straight back, almost chops the 5 off the 8. And you know, I like Aulby's demeanor on the lane. When the match was early, he put some pressure and showed some emotion, let Jack Jurek feel it. Now he's got the match well in hand. He's being very congenial. That's really a credit to his match game style.
Didn't get the 10 pin, but much appreciation from this capacity crowd at Landmark Lanes in Peoria.
The wide break. Now watch the ball enter the 1-2, drive the 5 pin over into the 6-10 zone. Just a little bit too much power. Aulby doesn't carry the 10, but he has the match well in hand. He's going to be at a 247 pace with this conversion. Jack Jurek will see another good day at the tour and hopefully get into the winner's circle.
So it means we will have 2 players of the year going against each other, and between them 30 PBA titles, Aulby and Wayne Webb, all from